Welcome to Free Yourself from Traditional Cybersecurity Learning. I wanted to learn cybersecurity today, and I'm going to talk about my journey. My journey isn't perfect. I had plenty of challenges along the way, and I'm not done with my journey yet. I'm still learning. And I hope that this talk will get you started on your own journey in cybersecurity learning. With that being said, I'm going to talk about my progress and my journey so far. So, from the beginning, as a young kid, I've always been around tech and puzzles. We do a lot of tech and puzzles as a family, a lot. One of the earliest experiences of puzzles is when my father came home from SAINTCON 2013 with these puzzle badges. And I thought it was really cool to assemble them and try and figure out what they meant. And I want to know how things work, and a natural curiosity to lead to discovery of things. So after many weeks of begging my father to let me come to SAINTCON, he let me come so I could see what it was really like. So I started competing in 2019 in the Hackers Challenge, and it was a lot of fun. I did not know as much as I wanted to know, and it was really hard. I knew nothing. I didn't know how to do any of the challenges. So being in this world that I had no idea how to operate and function was very interesting. After I could not compete in the 2020 because of COVID, but I practiced a couple of things, but I had to learn all of that and do it and prepare it all by myself. So after COVID, I went back, and in 2021, I competed in the Hackers Challenge again. I did significantly better than the last year. And I remained at top 20 the entire year up until the trivia. And I did not know half as much of the trivia as everybody else. So I ended up around the top 100. And I really wanted to do better. So I've been really looking forward for this year because I've been preparing, and I hope to do really well. So I had a big problem in my cybersecurity learning, and it is I didn't have any budget. I don't have a job. And so I don't have a job to give me opportunities to learn these things. I had to get creative with the resources available to me in order to learn the things that I wanted to learn. I reached out for help, and here are a couple things that I found. My first program is called Try Hack Me. It is an online or digital cybersecurity learning platform, and it has lots of options to pick from digital forensics or computer forensics. It includes the discovery, recovery, and investigation of digital data, malware reverse engineering, which is taking malware and seeing how it really works, and network traffic analysis, and is capturing and looking at pieces of information called packets sent over a computer network. Try Hack Me has actually hackable machines. So you can create an on-demand cloud hacking room and you could learn hacking by actually hacking. And if you've ever heard the saying, learn by doing, it is 100% true for cybersecurity. I use this to learn by doing this in a controlled and safe environment. So if something went wrong, I could fix it and start back up and figure out what I did wrong. Rooms are separated, like TrackMe separates their services into these things called rooms. Each room has like specific area that it would cover, and it teaches you step by step how to do something. So you can go through the room, and it will teach you how to do it. And so you can, when you go back, try it again, and you will know exactly how to do it. You can do this, you can do a room as many times as you wish, and you can pick from a very big variety of rooms. When you are going through rooms, you answer questions as you go through to make sure that you're learning and you're comprehending what you have just read and done. And it also ensures that you're doing the whole task and not skimping out on some parts when it gets hard. So what do you do when you get stuck? Or you get an error that Google doesn't know the answer to? Well, the answer is community. I reached out to people on Discord. They have a Discord server that is completely free to join, and they have specific chats to help you with these rooms. And there are a bunch of people willing to help you. If you need a little nudge in the right direction, there's a special hint channel that they will just give you a tiny hint so then you can get on your way and figure it out yourself. Mostly everyone is super nice and totally willing to work you through the issues that you come across. In order to do this, you need a computer, right? One that has all the tools that you need. They have virtual machines ready and waiting for you. A cloud virtual machine is a digital version of a physical computer. A virtual machine is software, can run programs or operating systems, and can connect to networks. They can also run updated software for an extra challenge. You can also run a specific version or software to practice or learn a particular exploit. Once you hit Start Machine, it will load up, and you will have a machine to use to hack to your heart's content until your 1 hour's up. Because remember, I don't have any money, so I wasn't able to pay for the premium subscription that allowed you to have it for more than an hour. So this meant that the virtual machine would shut down immediately on the dot for 1 hour. And I noticed a workaround after some digging through, and it is you can use your own hacking computer. And I wanted to do this because I wasn't super fast at doing these things initially. I had to sit there and read it multiple times, try it over and over and over again until I finally got it right. So this allows me to do it without that limitation of 1 hour. So I needed my own computer. So I convinced my father to let me have an old computer to work with. But the issue is, it had a really bad hard drive. It would not boot up at all. It couldn't boot up. And I tried re-imaging it, like starting from the very beginning, getting rid of Windows and then putting it back on, and it just did not work. The hard drive was completely out of the computer. So I had to come up with, yet again, another creative solution. So that allowed me to use the computer without touching the hard drive at all. So after lots of research, I found Kali Live. It is a bootable USB drive that bypasses the hard drive completely. I was able to set up with everything that I needed using Kali Live. You might be wondering, what is Kali? It is a special operating system built specifically for testing of products security. It is also called penetration testing or pen testing. It can also be referred to as red teaming. I just downloaded an image of Kali Live, and all the tools I needed and installed it to a USB drive. And the Kali features are some of the Kali features that are super important security tools are, and they're built in, are Nmap, which is a network mapping tool for scanning networks and identifying open ports and addresses. Metasploit, which is a framework with tons of different built-in capabilities for exploits. Hashcat, which is used for cracking and decoding hashes or password recovery. You can use dictionaries with this or word lists that you create. Burp Suite, which is for web application testing. Hydra, which is a brute force password cracker. And Wireshark for network traffic analysis and packet capture. I used Etcher to initially put the Kali Live on the USB, on the one on the left, but it didn't work the intended way it was meant to. It did not save a thing I did. And later I realized that I needed to partition the drive. And it's basically telling a computer what part of storage is for what. So I used a different program called Rufus that allowed me to do that at the same time. And eventually, I had the one on the left, and it broke. And so I needed to make a new one. So I made the one on the right, which had like 100 times more space for me to do all the things that I have learned. After I felt pretty good about myself and like, I know all this stuff, I decided to compete in the BYU CTF. And a CTF is a capture the flag competition where you compete to solve problems and get flags to turn them in for points. Kind of like it is the Hackers Challenge here at SAINTCON. I found out about it in the SAINTCON Discord server. I tried it, and it was very fun, but I really sucked. Like, I did not know anything. I got rickrolled way too many times during that too. It was really not great. So there's one problem in particular I want to point out, because I struggled so much with this one. I was given this picture and the problem reading, somehow, somewhere, something in this picture has a flag, but my friend Blue Orca won't tell me where it is. Can you help me? And so I got to work, and I found the building that is right next to it and has the sign out on the right. And I thought that was very important, given that it's covered in a blue mark from like your iPhone. You mark it over, so then you couldn't read the address and know exactly what you were doing. So I Googled it. I didn't find the key, but I was so sure that it was that because it was kind of shaped like I thought it was shaped like an orca, so of course it had to be that. But I neglected to look at the giant blue water tower literally in the picture. And if I had just Googled the name of that water tower, I would have gotten it. So sometimes it is just in plain sight. Next, I want to talk about one last type of cybersecurity, and personally, my favorite to play with, the human side of security. It is also something that I really wanted to learn. For those of you that may know who my father is, he really likes his social engineering. He has a big library of social engineering books, and then I decided to read some so I could learn how to do what he does. My favorite was by far Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. After reading all these, during school one day, I decided to apply what I just learned. So I was thinking, why don't I do something weird and see if I can get people to do it? So I went into class and got like other students, to take off their right shoe and leave it in front of the door. And we were trying to get the people to take off their right shoe and leave it at the door and walk in with only their left shoe. Not their left, only their right. It's random, yeah. Is it weird? Yes. But did it work? Most definitely. Within 5 minutes, we had over 10 shoes sitting in front of the door. If I didn't even have to put out a sign or say any words at all, and they just did it. There was also an outcome that I didn't expect that came out. I had created a group of students that would try random stuff every class period, and I'm still to this day very much paying for what I did at the very beginning. I have a couple of lessons that I've learned over my journey. The first is, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Anyone can learn to do this. It takes work and it takes practice. It takes persistence and dedication. Without these things, you can't do it. But if you have all these things, anybody can learn this, no matter who you are. Number two, there are free resources. I didn't have a budget. And if you don't have a budget, there are still opportunities for you. I have found a lot of free resources for this, and it made my learning process a whole lot better. You can try some of the resources that I've mentioned, or you can go and find some for yourself. And there are tons out there. So if you can't find some, keep on going. Persistence, dedication. Number three, don't be afraid to reach out. SAINTCON is an amazing community. I have been helped by so many people in the community, and they've contributed so much of their time and expertise to me, and I'm very thankful for that. They've made me who I am today. We have a very strong community to help lift everybody up, and everybody is a newbie at some point, and everybody started at that low point. So everybody can help bring the new people and give them the knowledge that they need. And it is okay to not know something. And it is okay to ask these questions, even though they may be basic or simple, or like at the very beginning, like you don't want to waste anybody's time. It's okay. You can ask those questions, because that's how you start. Number four, there are some things easier to pick up than others. Some things will be really hard to learn, and some will be easy. I didn't know which ones were easy and which ones were hard until I tried them. And that's okay. Some things will be a big challenge until you learn the fundamentals. Sometimes, number five, sometimes it's super simple, even where it doesn't seem like it. It's always a good idea to look at the most basic situation and look for the simple answer, the basic solution. And sometimes I got stuck looking for something way more complicated when it was really simple. So I recommend that you start from the very beginning and work your way up. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming to my talk. I will open it up to some questions. All right. Let's see. A lot of it is being able to get out of. I got out a lot of schoolwork and negotiated, like, if I do this, give you this paper for another class instead, can I still get points for this? It was very great. I didn't have to do half as much work. A a lot of also getting into places that like I shouldn't, and then being able to, I know a lot of, I like to use Fusion 360, and so I got a teacher to put me on the education license for that, even though I am not enrolled in the class. So it's pretty fun.